Welcome, wanderers of the dark and seekers of the unknown, to Whispers on the Asphalt, your go-to channel for spine-tingling tales and haunted histories. Here, we explore the eerie corners of the world where shadows stretch longer than they should and the hum of tires on pavement is often accompanied by whispers from beyond. Today, we embark on a chilling journey along some of the most haunted highways in the Pacific Northwest, a region renowned for its breathtaking landscapes, dense forests, and a rich tapestry of folklore that blurs the line between myth and reality. The Pacific Northwest, with its mist-shrouded mountains, winding coastal roads, and endless stretches of wilderness, has long been a breeding ground for ghostly legends and unexplained phenomena. These highways, carved through rugged terrain and steeped in history, are more than mere conduits for travel. They are corridors of mystery, where the past lingers like fog over a moonlit lake. From spectral hitchhikers to phantom vehicles, from cursed landmarks to blood-soaked stretches of asphalt, these roads hold secrets that defy explanation and challenge the boundaries of belief. In this two-part series, we will peel back the layers of the supernatural, revealing the haunting stories behind the region's most infamous routes. Whether you're a skeptic or a believer, prepare to have your curiosity piqued and your courage tested as we delve into the unknown. So buckle up, keep your headlights on, and join us as we navigate the shadowy highways of the Pacific Northwest. Let the journey begin. The sinister allure of the Pacific Northwest's highways. There's something uniquely haunting about the highways of the Pacific Northwest. Stretching across mist-shrouded forests, rugged mountain passes, and desolate stretches of wilderness, these roads are more than just ribbons of asphalt connecting towns and cities. They're conduits of mystery, tragedy, and the supernatural. Beneath their surface lies a tapestry woven with tales of lost travelers, ghostly apparitions, and unexplained phenomena that defy logic and reason. For centuries, these highways have borne witness to events that blur the line between the living and the dead, leaving behind echoes of sorrow, fear, and the inexplicable. The Pacific Northwest is a region steeped in natural beauty and isolation, where dense evergreen forests tower over winding roads and fog rolls in like an unwelcome visitor, obscuring everything in its path. It's this combination of breathtaking scenery and eerie remoteness that lends itself so perfectly to the macabre. When night falls, the shadows grow longer, the silence becomes heavier, and the sense of being watched settles in like a cold hand on your shoulder. These highways, often traversed by weary drivers seeking solace or adventure, become stages for encounters that challenge our understanding of reality. From phantom hitchhikers who vanish into thin air to spectral vehicles that race alongside modern cars only to disappear without a trace, the stories surrounding these haunted highways are as varied as they are chilling. Some speak of cursed stretches of road where accidents occur with alarming frequency, while others recount sightings of ghostly figures standing in the middle of deserted lanes, their hollow eyes locking onto passing motorists before fading into nothingness. Each tale carries its own weight, some rooted in historical tragedies, others born from urban legends, but all share a common thread, the undeniable feeling that something otherworldly lingers along these routes. What makes these highways particularly fascinating is how they transcend mere folklore. Many of the accounts come not from superstitious locals or imaginative storytellers but from ordinary people, truckers, families, solo travelers, who have experienced the inexplicable firsthand. Their testimonies paint vivid pictures of moments frozen in time, headlights catching glimpses of translucent forms, radios tuning themselves to static-filled frequencies, and sudden drops in temperature that send shivers down spines. These aren't just campfire tales meant to entertain. They're real-life encounters that leave lasting impressions, etching themselves into the collective consciousness of those brave enough to venture onto these haunted roads. As we embark on this journey through Episode 1 of Most Haunted Highways in the Pacific Northwest, prepare yourself for a descent into the unknown. We'll explore the darkest corners of these infamous routes, uncovering the chilling stories that have made them legends in their own right. Whether you're a skeptic drawn by morbid curiosity or a believer eager to delve deeper into the supernatural, one thing is certain: these highways hold secrets that refuse to stay buried. So buckle up, keep your wits about you, and remember, the next turn might lead you somewhere unexpected. The enigma of Highway 20, where shadows roam. Nestled within the heart of Washington State, Highway 20 carves its way through some of the most breathtaking yet foreboding landscapes the Pacific Northwest has to offer. Known as the North Cascades Highway, this iconic route winds through jagged peaks, alpine meadows, and dense forests, offering stunning vistas that attract tourists and adventurers alike. Yet beneath its picturesque facade lies a darker narrative, one steeped in mystery, tragedy, and whispers of the supernatural. For decades, travelers along Highway 20 have reported encounters that defy explanation, transforming what should be a scenic drive into a journey fraught with unease and dread. One of the most persistent legends tied to Highway 20 involves the ghostly figure known simply as the Wanderer. Described as a tall, gaunt man clad in tattered clothing reminiscent of early settlers, the Wanderer is said to appear suddenly on the side of the road, his hollow eyes fixed intently on passing vehicles. Countless motorists claim to have spotted him walking aimlessly along the highway late at night, only for him to vanish when approached. In some cases, drivers report feeling an inexplicable urge to pull over, only to find no trace of the mysterious figure upon stopping. Others describe hearing faint footsteps echoing behind their cars, even when driving at high speeds, as though the Wanderer were somehow keeping pace despite the impossibility of such a feat. Adding to the highway's haunted reputation is the story of Emily Carter, a young woman whose tragic fate continues to haunt travelers to this day. According to local lore, Emily was returning home from a weekend getaway in 1974 when her car skidded off the icy road during a snowstorm near Rainy Pass. Her body was never recovered, leading many to believe she succumbed to exposure in the unforgiving wilderness. Since then, drivers have reported seeing a pale, translucent figure resembling Emily standing on the edge of the highway, her arms outstretched as if pleading for help. Some claim she appears in their rearview mirrors, her expression shifting from desperation to sorrow before fading away entirely. Others swear they've heard soft sobbing emanating from the woods lining the road, a mournful reminder of the life cut tragically short. Highway 20 is also notorious for its spectral vehicle sightings. Numerous reports describe encountering a vintage black sedan traveling at high speeds along remote stretches of the highway, its headlights casting an unnatural glow. Witnesses recount moments of terror as the car abruptly veers toward them, only to disappear entirely once contact seems imminent. One particularly chilling account comes from a truck driver who swore he saw the same sedan parked sideways across both lanes ahead of him, blocking his path. As he braked frantically, the vehicle vanished without a sound, leaving him shaken and questioning whether he had imagined the entire ordeal. Such encounters have earned Highway 20 the nickname Phantom Lane, a moniker that encapsulates the eerie unpredictability of its hauntings. The highway's treacherous terrain further amplifies its sinister allure. During winter months, heavy snowfall and avalanches frequently close sections of Highway 20, isolating travelers and heightening feelings of vulnerability. This isolation creates the perfect breeding ground for paranoia, as stranded motorists often report hearing strange noises outside their vehicles, scratching, knocking, or low murmurs that seem to emanate from nowhere and everywhere at once. Campers and hikers exploring nearby trails have described similar experiences, claiming to feel an oppressive presence watching them from the shadows. Rangers tasked with patrolling the area speak of finding inexplicable footprints in freshly fallen snow, tracks that lead nowhere and disappear abruptly, as though whoever, or whatever, made them had simply ceased to exist. Despite, or perhaps because of, its haunted reputation, Highway 20 remains a magnet for thrill-seekers and paranormal enthusiasts. Its blend of natural splendor and supernatural intrigue draws curious visitors year-round, each hoping to catch a glimpse of the Wanderer, encounter Emily's ghostly plea for salvation, or experience the adrenaline rush of narrowly avoiding a collision with a phantom sedan. For those brave enough to traverse its winding expanse after dark, the promise of witnessing the unexplainable proves irresistible. Yet, as each new traveler embarks on this haunted highway, they must ask themselves, are they prepared to face the shadows that roam free under the cover of night, or will they become another chapter in Highway 20's chilling legacy? The mysterious veil of Interstate 5, a highway of haunting whispers. Interstate 5, the lifeline artery stretching from the sun-soaked borders of California to the lush, rain-drenched landscapes of Washington, holds within its vast expanse a myriad of haunting tales that chill the spine and quicken the pulse. This major thoroughfare, bustling with the ceaseless hum of commerce and travel, harbors secrets beneath its asphalt skin, secrets whispered by the wind and echoed by the shadows of towering pines. Among the most spine-chilling narratives linked to I-5 is the legend of the Whispering Winds. Drivers recount eerie experiences of an inexplicable breeze that infiltrates their vehicles, carrying with it faint, indistinct murmurs. These whispers, seemingly originating from nowhere, weave tales of sorrow and loss, urging listeners to follow their ethereal guidance. Many a motorist has pulled over, compelled by an unseen force, only to find themselves enveloped in an unsettling stillness, the whispers ceasing as abruptly as they began. This phenomenon is particularly prevalent around the Siskiyou summit, where the highway ascends into the rugged terrains of southern Oregon. Here, the air thickens with stories of a spectral convoy, a procession of ghostly trucks and cars, that materializes on foggy nights, traveling at speeds defying the laws of physics before vanishing into the mist. Adding to the spectral tapestry of I-5 is the haunting tale of the Lady in White. Sightings of this apparition are frequent along the stretch between Eugene and Salem, Oregon. She is often seen wandering aimlessly near the roadside, her flowing white dress stark against the dark backdrop of night. Motorists who stop to assist her report a chilling transformation. As they approach, the figure dissolves into the air, leaving behind a lingering scent of wildflowers. Local lore suggests she is the spirit of a bride who perished in a tragic accident on her wedding day, forever seeking her lost love along the highway that claimed her life. Further north, near Tacoma, Washington, the spirits of workers who died during the construction of I-5 reportedly haunt the tunnels and bridges. Construction crews in the 1960s faced perilous conditions, and not all returned home. Today, drivers passing through these zones speak of hearing distant hammering and cries for help, sounds that echo from the depths of the earth. Paranormal investigators capturing EVP recordings in these areas have documented voices pleading for release, trapped between worlds by unfinished business or untimely demise. The psychological impact on regular travelers cannot be overstated. Long-haul truckers, accustomed to the solitude of endless miles, find themselves unnerved by the unpredictable nature of these supernatural occurrences. Reports abound of dashboard lights flickering erratically, radios switching stations autonomously, and GPS systems providing incorrect directions, leading drivers into isolated areas where the sense of being watched intensifies. Psychologists suggest that the monotony of highway travel, combined with fatigue and the suggestive power of shared ghost stories, may contribute to heightened perceptions of the paranormal. However, skeptics and believers alike agree that the sheer volume of consistent, detailed accounts lends credence to the idea that something truly otherworldly permeates Interstate 5. For those who dare to traverse this haunted highway, especially under the cloak of darkness, the experience is akin to stepping into a realm where past and present collide. The interplay of light and shadow, coupled with the hypnotic rhythm of tires on pavement, creates an atmosphere ripe for the manifestation of fears both rational and irrational. Whether driven by curiosity or necessity, travelers along I-5 carry with them the knowledge that they are not alone, that the whispers of the wind and the silent watchers in the night accompany them on their journey, making every mile a potential gateway to the unknown. U.S. Route 101, the ghostly coastline stretching along the rugged and picturesque coastline of the Pacific Northwest. U.S. Route 101 offers travelers a mesmerizing blend of natural beauty and eerie mystique. This historic highway, which snakes its way through Oregon and Washington, is renowned not only for its stunning ocean vistas and lush temperate rainforests, but also for the chilling tales of spectral encounters that have unfolded within its shadowy confines. Among the most haunting of these stories is the legend of the Gray Lady, a ghostly figure whose presence has been felt by countless motorists navigating the treacherous curves of the Tillamook coastline. The Gray Lady is said to appear as a translucent silhouette draped in flowing garments that shimmer like moonlight on water. Witnesses describe her as hovering silently above the road, her form flickering in and out of visibility as if caught between two worlds. Most sightings occur during the witching hours, when the fog rolls in thick and the world beyond the headlights becomes a canvas for the imagination. Drivers recount gripping their steering wheels tighter as the apparition drifts closer, her mournful gaze seeming to pierce through the windshield. Some claim she vanishes instantly when approached, leaving behind only the faint scent of salt water and seaweed. Others insist they've felt a sudden drop in temperature, as though the warmth had been siphoned away by her passing. Another spine-chilling phenomenon associated with U.S. Route 101 is the appearance of phantom ships. Travelers along the Oregon coast have reported seeing ghostly vessels emerging from the mist, their sails tattered and hulls weathered by time. These spectral crafts glide silently across the horizon, defying the laws of nature as they navigate impossible distances in mere seconds. Locals attribute these visions to the countless shipwrecks that have occurred along this perilous shoreline, where jagged rocks and unpredictable currents have claimed countless lives over the centuries. The spirits of sailors lost to the sea are said to linger, doomed to relive their final voyages in an eternal loop of despair. Adding to the highway's haunted reputation are the persistent reports of disembodied voices carried on the coastal winds. Motorists parked at overlooks or resting in quiet coves have described hearing faint cries for help, laughter, or even snippets of conversation that seem to emanate from nowhere and everywhere simultaneously. These auditory hallucinations are particularly disorienting, as they often mimic familiar tones or phrases, drawing listeners into a false sense of recognition before dissolving into static. Some believe these voices belong to victims of past tragedies, car accidents, drownings, or disappearances, whose unresolved fates bind them to the land and sea. Environmental factors play a significant role in amplifying the supernatural aura of U.S. Route 101. The region's frequent rainfall and dense fog create an atmosphere of perpetual twilight, where visibility is limited and the boundaries between reality and illusion blur. The towering Sitka spruces and western red cedars that line the highway cast long, distorted shadows that dance in the dim light, creating shapes that resemble human forms or monstrous silhouettes. The rhythmic crashing of waves against the rocky shore provides a constant backdrop, masking the subtle sounds of footsteps or whispers that might otherwise go unnoticed. Even the salty tang of the ocean air seems to heighten sensory awareness, making every detail, every flicker of movement or shift in temperature, feel magnified and deliberate. Psychological elements further deepen the haunting experience for those who travel U.S. Route 101. The isolation inherent in driving such a remote and winding road can trigger primal fears, tapping into humanity's ancient dread of the unknown. The lack of cell service in many areas compounds this vulnerability, leaving drivers feeling disconnected from the safety net of modern technology. Combined with the hypnotic repetition of the road's curves and the monotony of long-distance travel, these conditions create fertile ground for the mind to conjure specters from the void. It's no wonder that so many travelers report feeling an overwhelming sense of being watched, as if unseen eyes are tracking their every move. For those brave enough to venture onto U.S. Route 101 after sunset, the rewards are twofold: breathtaking views of starlit skies reflected on the ocean's surface and the tantalizing possibility of encountering the supernatural. Whether drawn by curiosity, skepticism, or a desire to confront their deepest fears, motorists who traverse this haunted highway carry with them the knowledge that they are not alone. The Gray Lady, the phantom ships, and the disembodied voices serve as reminders that the Pacific Northwest coastline is more than just a scenic marvel. It is a threshold between worlds, where the veil between the living and the dead grows thin and the mysteries of the universe whisper their secrets to those willing to listen. The eerie echoes of Highway 12. Shadows beneath the trees nestle deep within the verdant embrace of Washington State's Olympic Peninsula. Highway 12 emerges as a haunting corridor where the boundary between reality and the supernatural blurs with every mile traveled. This secluded stretch of asphalt, flanked by towering conifers and cloaked in perpetual twilight due to the dense forest canopy, serves as a conduit for some of the Pacific Northwest's most chilling ghostly encounters. Among the myriad tales whispered along this road, none is more pervasive, or more unsettling, than the legend of the Faceless Hitchhiker. The Faceless Hitchhiker is described as a gaunt figure, clad in tattered clothing that seems to ripple unnaturally even in the absence of wind. What sets this apparition apart from typical phantom hitchhiker lore is its defining feature, or rather, the lack thereof. Witnesses claim the figure possesses no discernible facial features, only a smooth, blank expanse where a face should be. This grotesque anomaly strikes terror into the hearts of those who encounter it, as the hitchhiker's empty visage seems to lock onto them with an intensity that transcends physical sight. Travelers recount pulling over out of instinctive compassion, only to find the passenger seat empty moments later, despite having watched the figure climb aboard. Some report hearing faint breathing beside them, while others describe the sensation of icy fingers brushing against their skin, an ominous reminder that the entity remains close, even when invisible. Equally disturbing are the reports of ghostly animals that haunt the fringes of Highway 12. Drivers frequently speak of spotting deer-like creatures darting across the road, their movements eerily fluid and unnatural. Closer inspection reveals these beasts to possess luminous, hollow eyes that glow with an inner light, piercing through the darkest nights. More alarming still are accounts of wolves, or wolf-like entities, with elongated limbs and matted fur, howling in tones that resonate unnervingly within the confines of passing vehicles. These spectral predators are said to stalk travelers, their unearthly calls growing louder and more frenzied as if closing in on prey. While no physical harm has been reported, the psychological toll of such encounters leaves many shaken, questioning whether the creatures are guardians of the forest or manifestations of personal fears brought to life. Perhaps the most enigmatic aspect of Highway 12's haunting is the recurring theme of abandoned vehicles found along its desolate stretches. Over the years, authorities have discovered numerous cars parked haphazardly on the shoulder, their doors left ajar and engines cold. Inside, belongings remain untouched, suggesting occupants fled in haste without taking anything with them. Strangely, attempts to locate the missing individuals almost always end in failure, as if the forest itself has swallowed them whole. Locals whisper of a curse tied to these disappearances, pointing to the tragic history of logging accidents and fatal crashes that have scarred the highway's past. Some believe the spirits of those who perished here linger, luring unsuspecting travelers into the woods to join their ranks. Others speculate that the disappearances are the work of malevolent entities guarding sacred grounds hidden beneath the trees. Environmental influences play a pivotal role in shaping the haunted atmosphere of Highway 12. The dense canopy of Douglas firs and western hemlocks filters sunlight into fragmented beams, casting dappled shadows that twist and writhe with each passing breeze. Moss-covered trunks loom like silent sentinels, their gnarled roots clawing at the earth as though trying to escape subterranean horrors. The air is heavy with the scent of damp soil and decaying leaves, mingling with the faint aroma of pine resin to create an olfactory landscape that feels both alive and decaying simultaneously. At night, the darkness becomes absolute, broken only by the occasional glimmer of bioluminescent fungi or the distant flash of headlights rounding a bend. This oppressive ambience feeds into the psychological fragility of travelers, heightening senses and amplifying paranoia. Every snapping twig, rustling leaf, or fleeting shadow takes on exaggerated significance, fueling the mind's inclination to perceive threats where none may exist, or worse, where something far more sinister lurks. Psychologically, Highway 12 preys on the vulnerabilities inherent in solitude and unfamiliarity. Its remoteness ensures minimal traffic, leaving drivers isolated for extended periods. The absence of cell reception exacerbates this sense of detachment, severing ties to the outside world and forcing reliance solely on one's instincts. For many, the monotony of the road, coupled with the hypnotic rhythm of tires humming against asphalt, creates a trance-like state conducive to misperception and hallucination. Add to this the cultural weight of regional folklore, which paints the Olympic Peninsula as a land steeped in mystery and danger, and it becomes clear why so many travelers interpret ordinary occurrences as supernatural events. Is that flicker of movement in the rearview mirror merely a reflection, or is it the faceless hitchhiker preparing to make contact? Does the sudden chill signify nothing more than a gust of wind, or does it herald the presence of a ghostly predator lurking just beyond the tree line? For those bold enough to traverse Highway 12, especially under the cover of darkness, the experience is akin to stepping into a waking nightmare. Each turn reveals new possibilities for terror, each mile traveled adds another layer of uncertainty. Whether driven by curiosity, necessity, or a desire to test one's courage against the unknown, motorists who dare to navigate this haunted highway must grapple with the realization that they are not alone. The faceless hitchhiker, the ghostly animals, and the abandoned vehicles stand as testaments to the enduring power of fear, a force capable of transforming a simple drive through the woods into a harrowing odyssey into the heart of darkness. Patterns across the Pacific Northwest's haunted highways. As we reflect on the eerie tales woven throughout the Pacific Northwest's haunted highways, certain recurring motifs emerge, painting a vivid picture of the region's supernatural landscape. These patterns are not mere coincidences but threads that bind these disparate stories together, revealing universal themes of loss, longing, and the human condition's darker facets. From the spectral wanderings of the Gray Lady on U.S. Route 101 to the faceless hitchhiker haunting Highway 12, these narratives share underlying similarities that transcend geographical boundaries and individual accounts. One prominent motif is the concept of unresolved trauma. Many of the spirits encountered along these highways are believed to be tethered to the earthly realm by unfinished business or unhealed wounds. The whispering winds of Interstate 5, for instance, carry voices pleading for help or expressing sorrow, suggesting souls trapped in limbo due to untimely deaths or tragic circumstances. Similarly, the ghostly bride known as the Lady in White on Interstate 5 embodies the archetype of the jilted lover, forever searching for her lost companion. These apparitions manifest as fragments of their former selves, perpetually reenacting moments of crisis or heartbreak, unable, or unwilling, to move on. Their presence serves as a poignant reminder of the emotional burdens humans carry, even beyond death. Isolation plays a critical role in amplifying the haunting nature of these highways. The remote stretches of Highway 20, Interstate 5, U.S. Route 101, and Highway 12 create environments where travelers are acutely aware of their vulnerability. The absence of cell reception, sparse traffic, and dense forests compound this sense of seclusion, fostering a psychological state ripe for supernatural interpretation. In such settings, ordinary stimuli, such as the rustling of leaves, distant animal calls, or flickering headlights, are magnified, often perceived as signs of paranormal activity. This isolation also taps into primal fears of abandonment and helplessness, triggering responses rooted in the survival instinct. The mind, deprived of external distractions, begins to fill gaps in perception with imagined threats, turning shadows into specters and whispers into warnings. Lighting and environmental manipulation further enhance the uncanny atmosphere of these haunted highways. The interplay of natural elements, fog rolling in from the coast, shafts of sunlight breaking through dense canopies, or the reflective glow of bioluminescent fungi, creates visual illusions that blur the line between reality and fantasy. These optical distortions contribute to the sense of unreality, making it easier for witnesses to mistake mundane phenomena for ghostly manifestations. For example, the phantom ships seen along U.S. Route 101 could easily be explained as tricks of light playing off the ocean's surface, yet the context of the setting transforms these occurrences into something far more sinister. Additionally, sudden changes in temperature, often reported near sites of alleged hauntings, add a tactile dimension to the experience, grounding the supernatural in physical sensations that feel undeniably real. Historical context also looms large in shaping these narratives. Each highway carries its own legacy of tragedy: shipwrecks along U.S. Route 101, logging accidents on Highway 12, or construction mishaps on Interstate 5, that informs the types of hauntings reported. These historical events act as anchors, grounding spectral tales in tangible moments of suffering and loss. They provide a framework through which contemporary witnesses interpret their experiences, linking personal encounters with broader cultural memories. By drawing on shared histories of hardship and resilience, these haunted highways transform from mere transportation routes into living monuments to the past, inviting travelers to engage with the ghosts of those who came before them. The enduring fascination with haunted highways hold a peculiar grip on the human psyche, captivating us in ways that few other phenomena can. At their core, these spectral routes tap into our deepest fears and curiosities, offering a tantalizing blend of danger, mystery, and the unknown. They represent liminal spaces, thresholds between the familiar and the unknowable, where the rules of reality seem to bend and break. It's this very ambiguity that draws us in, compelling us to peer into the abyss despite the shiver running down our spines. One reason for their allure lies in the primal fear of isolation. Highways, especially those winding through remote regions like the Pacific Northwest, strip away the comforts of civilization, leaving travelers vulnerable to the whims of nature and the unseen. The vast emptiness, the endless stretches of road disappearing into the horizon, evoke a visceral response rooted in survival instincts. Humans are inherently social creatures. The thought of being stranded miles from help, surrounded only by shadows and silence, triggers an ancient dread. This fear is amplified by the knowledge that these roads have witnessed tragedy, making every curve and mile marker a potential gateway to the supernatural. The stories of ghostly hitchhikers, phantom vehicles, and spectral voices feed into this anxiety, transforming the act of driving into a high-stakes gamble where the stakes are not just life and death but something far more unsettling: the unknown. Another factor is the interplay between control and chaos. Driving requires focus, precision, and a sense of agency. You are the master of your vehicle, navigating through obstacles and hazards with skill. Yet, haunted highways disrupt this illusion of control. The sudden appearance of a faceless figure in your rearview mirror, the inexplicable drop in temperature, or the flickering of dashboard lights remind you that forces beyond comprehension may be at play. This tension between mastery and helplessness creates a psychological paradox. The more you try to assert dominance over the situation, the more powerless you feel. It's this push and pull dynamic that keeps us hooked, as it mirrors the broader struggles of life itself, our desire to impose order on a chaotic world while grappling with the inevitability of entropy. Moreover, haunted highways appeal to our innate love of storytelling. Each encounter becomes a chapter in a larger narrative, one that connects individual experiences to a collective mythology. Whether it's the legend of the Gray Lady drifting along US Route 101 or the cursed stretch of Highway 12 littered with abandoned cars, these tales resonate because they reflect universal archetypes: the grieving widow, the lost soul seeking redemption, the predator lurking in the dark. They remind us that every road has its ghosts, every journey its risks, and every traveler their story to tell. By sharing these accounts, we participate in a communal ritual of remembrance, ensuring that the spirits of the past continue to haunt the present. Finally, haunted highways offer a safe space to confront our fears. Unlike horror movies or books, which allow us to observe terror from a distance, these roads demand active engagement. You aren't merely watching someone else navigate the unknown, you are the protagonist, steering through the fog, listening for whispers, and scanning the tree-line for shadows. This immersive quality heightens the emotional impact, making each mile traveled a test of courage and resolve. And yet, there's always the reassurance that you can turn back, retreat to the safety of home, and leave the ghosts behind, for now. This balance of risk and reward satisfies our craving for adventure while keeping the stakes manageable. Ultimately, the fascination with haunted highways stems from their ability to blur boundaries, not just between life and death, but between the ordinary and the extraordinary, the seen and the unseen. They remind us that even in our modern age of technology and connectivity, there remain places where the fabric of reality frays, revealing glimpses of something greater or darker than ourselves. As long as humans seek to understand the mysteries of existence, haunted highways will continue to beckon us, promising answers just beyond the next bend, and maybe, just maybe, a brush with the supernatural. Dear reader, as we bring this journey through the haunted highways of the Pacific Northwest to a close, I hope you've felt the same spine-tingling allure that has drawn countless souls to these spectral corridors. These roads are more than mere ribbons of asphalt cutting through rugged landscapes. They are thresholds to the unknown, where the past refuses to fade and the boundaries between worlds blur. Each tale we've uncovered, from the ghostly apparitions of Highway 20 to the faceless hitchhiker of Highway 12, is a fragment of a larger mosaic, one that speaks to the enduring power of mystery, memory, and the human spirit. But why stop here? If these stories have stirred something within you, a spark of curiosity, a shiver of excitement, I urge you to take the next step. Venture onto one of these haunted highways yourself. Drive beneath the towering pines of US Route 101, where the Gray Lady drifts silently above the waves. Brave the desolate stretches of Interstate 5, where whispers ride the winds and phantom ships emerge from the mist. Or test your courage on Highway 12, where shadows beneath the trees seem to watch your every move. These roads are waiting, their secrets poised to unfold for those brave enough to seek them. And when you return, Share your story. Did you feel the icy touch of a ghostly hand? Hear the faint murmur of voices carried on the breeze? Or perhaps nothing happened at all, but isn't that silence just as intriguing? Your experiences add depth and texture to the rich tapestry of lore surrounding these haunted highways, ensuring their legacies endure for generations to come. After all, every encounter, no matter how small, is a thread in the grand narrative of the supernatural. Until then, keep your headlights bright and your wits sharper. The road ahead is long, and the shadows are watching.